Hey everybody, I'm coming back from a longish drive, and I thought this would be a good opportunity for me to talk a little bit about something that just tickled my mind, as it were, and I thought I would share it with y'all. I think I've made the joke before about starting from the premise of It's a Wonderful Life, which of course is one of the legendary Christmas movies. It's one of the well-known and acknowledged Christmas movies, unlike Eyes Wide Shut and Die Hard, which are also movies that take place at Christmas time, but there's a question about whether they're in some way Christmas movies or not. Intriguing question to my mind. But It's a Wonderful Life is the Christmas movie par excellence. It's the movie that makes everybody weep. Frank Capra, good vibes, good feelings, a feel-good movie. Makes you feel good about your life. Makes you feel like your existence has had a positive effect on the people around you. The storyline of the movie is it's about this guy who's down on his luck and who's feeling depressed, and then he says he's standing on a bridge, saying thinking about killing himself, and then his angel comes to him. His guardian angel comes to him, and then he says, I'm not going to kill myself, but I wish I'd never been born. And then his angel goes back and shows him what would have happened to all the people that he loves and to the town that he loves if he'd never been born. He wouldn't have been there to do this for that person. He wouldn't have been there to accomplish these things, made these people happy. He wouldn't have made his wife happy. His wife would have grown old without marrying anyone, become an old maid, which was a truly horrific fate for women back then, and may still be now, but we're just not supposed to talk about it as much. So the premise of the movie was that you do make a difference in other people's lives. And I thought, I had a joke, a sort of dark joke. I don't know if I was even the first one to think about this, but to make the opposite, It's a Wonderful Life in reverse, where someone's happy with his life, and then his guardian angel comes and tells him, you know what, it would have been better if, or his guardian devil, I guess it would be, comes and tells him, you know what, here's what things would have been like if you'd never been born. And he goes around and shows them all these things, and everybody's happier. and this bad thing that he accomplished would never have happened. And all in all, it just shows him that his influence in other people's lives and on the world is and on his environment has been a bad thing. And so he's, I don't know if his guardian devil talks him into never being born, like he opts never to be born or something. I don't know. I'm not sure how it ends, but that's an amusing premise anyway. To those of us who have a masochistic streak, who have a self-loathing streak, and who doesn't? But some of us do more than others. But here's what I was really thinking, though. What's the most, from a Christian perspective, what's the most orthodox take on this question of never having been born? If you say to yourself, I wish I'd never been born, of course what you're doing is sacrilegious. It's blasphemous, because God created you. God created you with a purpose in mind, even if that purpose is never clear to you for your whole life. You might not know. You might not ever know why God created you. But he did create you, and it's your job to steward your life and to try to use your gifts, the gifts that you've been given for good, and to treat the people around you in a way that you would wish to be treated, and all those kinds of things. But what if this, your guardian angel shows you that, if you hadn't been around, things would have still been okay. It's not like more of a lateral. What if it was more of a lateral thing, like the "It's a Wonderful Life" notion? Everything would have been bad if you hadn't been born. You were the one. You, George Bailey, are the source of a lot of good. You need to understand that. You accomplished a lot of good in all of your friends' lives, and you should appreciate the life that you were given by God, because you were here, because you did so many good things for people, and that's what gives you goose pimples, and that's what makes you think, because you see him go from this state of self-loathing to seeing that he really is, that he really has served a purpose and has made people happy. But and then the backwards version, the sort of dark joke of that is the reverse, that he screwed everything up and it would have been better if he'd never been born. Well, what if it's more of a lateral move. If you're born and this happened, and you made some differences for good in some people's lives, and some differences for ill in other people's lives, and you accomplished this, but then you look at you accomplished this and that, and so forth. But then whoever it is, your guardian neutral, it's not your angel or your devil. It's just someone just showing you. I guess it would still be your angel, because this is still. I think this is the most godly or orthodox way of looking at it. Like, he shows you your life, and you see, yeah, maybe I wouldn't have made much of a difference one way or the other. If I hadn't been born, my wife would have married some other man and would have been happy, even though he wasn't me. But that doesn't mean that she's not happy with me. Let's take something like that. Or, my friends would have, been okay without me, even though in some ways, I would have made some things better, but in some ways I made some things worse. And so you see, basically, it's just a lateral move, that you didn't really make that much of a splash one way or the other. And that teaches you true humility, because you come away from that thinking, okay, I still should be. I still am thankful for the life that I was given, because God made me, and therefore I am a blessed being, because I was created in the image and likeness of God. And so it's not about keeping score about whether things would have been better if you'd been around or if they hadn't been around, because God made you for a purpose, whatever that purpose is. It might not be that you found the cure for cancer. It might not be that you saved thousands of people's lives or anything like that. But still, the fact that you're here shows that you're here for a reason. Even if you don't understand what that reason is. And even if you had a chance to see your whole life and compare a world where you existed to a world where you didn't exist, you wouldn't necessarily see that the world's so much better with you than without you. But you still understand that God chose to make you, to put you in the world. God chose to create you, and therefore that's where your blessing stems from. I don't know. It wouldn't make nearly as good of a movie. They wouldn't be crying in the aisles. They wouldn't be. it wouldn't have the same powerful effect. But that's sort of the best way of looking at it, I think. It's not, your accomplishments or lack of accomplishments are not really relevant. Now, you should strive to be good, and you should strive to be the best person you can be, and all that. I'm not disputing that. But it's not about you making the world a better place or possibly a worse place. It's just about the fact that you're here because you're supposed to be here. And you're supposed to be here. You're supposed to be here because God put you here. What do y'all think?